afternoon to all. In this today's video, we are going to discuss about the motion of a charged particle under electric and magnetic field. So here the word is also referred. So this is the third lesson topic. So we are seeing about the third lesson, that is unit 3, magnetism. So in this lesson, the last class continuation is there. Last class we discussed the motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. So now we will discuss about the motion of a charged particle also in the electric and magnetic field. So that is crossed electric and magnetic field. Here the crossed word is referred as a perpendicular between the electric field and magnetic field. So that is the cross here. Crossed, that word is referred here. Crossed means perpendicular to electric and magnetic field. So here let us consider this experimental arrangement. So when the two parallel plates of a capacitor, which can be able to produce the uniform electric field, and also the perpendicular uniform magnetic field is also maintained. So that is the direction of the electric, that is perpendicular to the direction of the electric field. So the two fields are perpendicular to each other. So that's why they referred as upward direction. For a positive charge, upward direction shows the direction of the electric force, whereas in the downward direction represents the magnetic force, that is Lorentz force, that is magnetic field. So now suppose the charged particles can enter this space from the left hand side. So the net force on the particle is considered as, we have to equate the two forces, that is electric force and also the magnetic force. Electric force value is F is equal to EQ, that you know already, that we studied in a first lesson. And also the magnetic force value is the magnetic Lorentz force value, F is equal to Q V cross B vector. So that is also we discussed in the previous class, that is magnetic Lorentz force. So we have to sum of this two forces value will be produced for this when the charges enters the space. So the value is, here the mathematical expression shows the sum of the two forces value. So F is equal to electric field value is QE vector plus QV cross B vector. We have to take it out the common value of Q value. Then inside the bracket E vector plus V cross P vector. So this is the total force, that is net force of the particle can move in the two field. And also we have to equate this two fields, because for a positive charge the electric force will act in the downward direction and also the Lorentz force will act in the upward direction. So these two forces can balance one another. That's why it can equate the two forces value. Then so here we have to equate the two forces value, that is electric field is equal to magnetic field. So EQ is equal to E V naught B. So here we refer to V naught. V naught is the velocity of the charge when they are entered into this two perpendicular fields. So that is the moving of the charge, velocity of the charge naturally be V. So the initially be taken as a V value. Then it can be able to enter this two fields. Then they have to select their velocity itself because of the magnitude of the electric and magnetic field. So that's why it is also referred as a velocity selector. So that's why V naught is considered as the, so V naught is the velocity of the charge when they are entered to the two fields. So here we have to find out the V naught value. So equate this to equation and the Q value can automatically cancel to each other and V naught is equal to E by B. So here this refers the magnitude of field. The forces acts only the particle moving with particular speed, which does not depend upon their mass and charge value. It only depends upon their two field, that is electric and magnetic field. So the next topic is cyclotron. Cyclotron is one of the important 5-mark question. So you have to go through it after completed this, discussed this cyclotron. You have to write a test for that question also. So cyclotron is one of the device which is used to accelerate the charged particles. So because of this acceleration, the charged particles have to gain a large amount of kinetic energy also, and this is also the other name of this cyclotron is also called as high energy oscillator also. So that was invented by the Lorentz and Livingston in 1934. Just you see the picture. So this is the picture of the cyclotron. So that was invented by the Lorentz and Livingston. So see, there are the two magnetic fields are there. The round shape represents the magnetic field, north and south field, and in between that Ds is present. Ds means the semicircular disc-like circular metal. So that is called the Ds here. So in between that there are some spaces is there. In the center point we have to put the charged particle. So and also the Ds are connected to the very high alternating potential difference also. Because of this high frequency potential difference, the charged particles able to accelerate and come and hits to the target, and we have to find out the velocity and also frequency, time period for a complete oscillation, and also the kinetic energy of the charged particles. That are all we find that. So now let's see the one by one principle, then diagram, then construction, working, and also limitations of cyclotron. Limitation, disadvantages. Let's see one by one. It works under the principle of, first one principle, it works under the principle of when the particle moves perpendicular to the magnetic field. So that's why it experiences the magnetic Lorentz force. So this is the principle used in this cyclotron. And the diagram, let's see the diagram. There are two magnets are present. The two poles are there, north and south. So two electromagnet for each pole is there. So in between that there are, first one, the D-shaped hollow metal chamber is used. So D1 and D2 are the two metal chambers are used. That is, the shape is in the semicircle, and also in center the ion source is used. At the center of the Ds the ion source is used, and also high frequency oscillator is also connected, the positive and negative terminal of the two Ds, and also the deflector plate, that is the target. When the ion particle accelerate and come and hit the target, that shows the deflector plate. So this is the construction, and that is the what are the parts which are used in this cyclotron. And also we are going to see, now we are going to see the working part of this cyclotron here. So first, so working, when the ion is ejected in the center part of this Ds, so that is called S, that is a source. Source means the ion ejected in the center part of this two Ds. So when the ion is ejected, so it can be able to accelerate towards the Ds, that is the ion is a protons, that is positively charged particles. So it can able to attract the negative potential at the time. So the magnetic field is normal to the plane of the Ds. So the ion undergoes the circular path because it can able to attract the negative terminals. Next, after the one semicircular path, the ion reaches the gap between this Ds. At the time, the polarity of the Ds can be reversed. Now the positive polarity can be turned to the negative, and negative polarity can be turned to the positive. Because of this, it can able to attract the negatively charged particle. Then it also so the ion is now accelerated towards the D2, so with the greater velocity. So the circular motion can be occurred. This circular motion creates the centripetal force of the charged particle Q that can be provided by the magnetic Lorentz force here. So that's why we have to equate the two force values. That is, centripetal value is equal to magnetic Lorentz force value. That's why we have to find out the R value and also the frequency and also time taken, then kinetic energy of this charged particle. Let's see the expression now. So this circular, that is concentric ring, shows the acceleration of the charged particle. So for every half semicircle we have to change the polarity of the D1 and D2. Then it can be able to attract the negative potential and complete the one cyclic rotation of the circular path. And finally it have to go to attain the deflector plate, that is the target. It can be reach the high speed proton beam can be come outside to the accelerated particles. So this is the working of the cyclotron. Let's see the expression about this cyclotron. See the expression. So the centripetal force is equal to the magnetic Lorentz force. So here mv square by r is the centripetal force equal to qvb. So r is equal to, so rearrange the above equation, v cancel and r is equal to m by qb into v. So m by qb, that are all constants. So m is the mass of the electron, q is the charge of the electron and b is the magnetic field used and v is the velocity of the electrons. So here the constants can be directly or inversely proportional to r. So we have to remove the constant, that's why we have to introduce the proportionality symbol. So r is directly proportional to v. So from this equation, the increase in velocity increases the radius of circular path. So this process continues and hence the particle undergoes the spiral path, that of increasing the radius. So hence it reaches the Hedges value. So it is with the help of the deflector. So and also it is referred as a target T. So and also the condition of the electrons, that is cyclotron, is conditioned in the resonance condition. Resonance means that is one of the frequency can be occurred in that. So because of this frequency, the positive ion circulates in the magnetic field. That is also equal to the constant frequency of the oscillator. So that's why we have to find out the frequency value also. So F is equal to, that is already we discussed. So F is equal to, for a complete rotation, QB is divided by 2 pi m. So this is the frequency of a oscillator. So F is equal to QB by 2 pi m. And also we have to find out the time period for one complete oscillation, that is also referred as T is equal to 1 by F, that is reciprocal of frequency. So T is equal to 2 pi m by QB. So that are all we discussed in the previous class. So you just go through it and find out the frequency value. I already explained about the frequency value for the motion of the charged particles, that is before chapter. So you just go through it. Next one, we have to find out the kinetic energy of the charged particle, that is Ke is equal to half mv square. You know that the kinetic energy value is half mv square. So here half m is there, v square that we are going to calculate in the, so that is in the first equation. So what is your first equation? mv square by r is the first equation. mv square by r is equal to qvb. So here v cancel, then you have to find out the v value and also take square on both sides. Then the value is v square is equal to q square b square r square by m square. You have to substitute from this kinetic energy equation, then you will get the final equation of q square b square r square by 2m. So just I see that expression here. So from this equation, mv square by r is equal to qvb. So mv square by r is equal to qvb, v cancel. Then mv is equal to qrb. Then we are find out the r value, that you know, already you know that. Then we have to find out the v value here. So from this expression, so mv is equal to qrb. So v is equal to qbr by m. So take square on both sides. So v square is equal to q square b square r square by m square. Then you substitute this v square in this kinetic energy equation. So Ke is equal to half mv square. So is equal to half m. Instead of v square you substitute that value. That is q square b square r square by m square. So q square b square r square by m square, m cancel. Then finally you will get kinetic energy of the particle, charged particle, is equal to q square b square r square by m 2m. So this is the kinetic energy of a charged particle. Then the limitations of cyclotron. So disadvantages: the speed of the ion is limited. So the ion speed can be limited. So we are not give the very greater speed of this ion. So it can be limited. And the electron cannot be acylated. So here only we have to choose the positive ion, not for the negative ion. That is, electron cannot be acylated. The uncharged particle cannot be acylated. So only we have to choose the charged particle, that is the neutral particle cannot be acylated. So these are all the disadvantages of the cyclotron.